What do a carpenter and a realtor have in common? Like, what correlation is there in the story? Come right back and I'll share it with you. Brenda K with Halifax Home Selling Group, and this sweet Miss Frankie who's here with me every day. So, story about a carpenter. So, a woman has a squeak in her floor and it's driving her crazy and she can't get rid of it. So, she calls this carpenter and he comes in and he walks across the floor and he listens, walks back across the floor, listens again. He goes to his bag and he gets out this little tiny finishing nail. Goes over to the floor, puts the finishing nail in, walks across, no squeak. Walks back across, no squeak. Oh my God, the lady was thrilled. Nobody had been able to fix this for her. She says, I am so happy. How much do I owe you? And the carpenter says, that'll be $150. And the woman looks at him and says, $150 for a nail? And the carpenter looks at her and he said, oh no, ma'am, the nail was free. The $150 is for the expertise. How does that relate to real estate? Okay, so I'm going to share a story with you on expertise and how it comes into play. And this was a client, I actually fired this client. This is the one client I have fired, believe it or not, because of accusations that were made. So I had this listing, Mr. and Mrs., and we got an offer. And I called up and I was talking to the missus and I said, why don't we counter at this? I think we can make this work. Well, she lost it on me. If she could have come through the phone at me, she would. She started like yelling at me and accusing me. What do you mean you think you can take them? Like, have you talked to the other realtor? So long story short, through her verbal abusive tirade, she accused me of collusion. It wasn't collusion. It was experience. That's where a good realtor comes in. It's not gut, it's experience. And what kind of experience? Negotiation experience. So when I have a listing, I have a negotiation strategy. So when offers come in and I document the negotiation strategy I'm going to use, what's the market like? Who do I think the buyers are? Who am I dealing with? What tone of language do I want to use? What's the personality of the agent on the other line? What is their persuasion tactics I'm going to use? The negotiation is a strategy. It's written points. That's my job, to negotiate to get you the highest price for your house. And that's exactly what I was doing that day when I was accused of collusion. So the carpenter with his experience, the realtor based on experience. So it's not, like I said, it's not a gut feeling, it's experience. And that's what you're depending on. So when I'm listing a house, I have two main goals. I want to get you the highest price for your house in the shortest amount of time. And I need a strategy to do that. And I have different points of the strategy to do that. And one of them is strong negotiation skill based on experience, just like the carpenter. That is how my carpenter and my realtor story come together. If you enjoy my videos, please click subscribe and you'll get a new one every week. The sweet Miss Frankie and I will be back next Thursday with a new video. Cheers.